Okay, example 6, or sorry, 5. The graduate level course Ron was taking, each of the 3 tests were weighted 20%, and the final paper was weighted 40%. It should say Ron's. I changed the guy's name because he had a weird first name. His first name was Smith. I don't know, it seemed weird, so I meant to change the name to Ron, didn't do that. So Ron's scores on the 3 tests were 60, 70, and 80%. His score on the final paper was 60%. What was Ron's overall score for the course? So let's take a look. Each of the 3 tests were weighted 20%. The final paper is weighted 40%. So we had a test, and a second test, and a third test. And he had a final paper, right? So that's how this course is run. A lot of college courses are like that, where you don't have a whole lot of grades. College teachers don't like to grade papers. They don't have to grade papers. So I had a psychology class in college. You had a test at midterm, you had a test at semester. That was the entire grading of the course at the end. And the test at the end of the quarter was harder than the midterm, because midterm only covered the first 9 weeks of the course. The semester final covered all 18 weeks of the course. That was pretty rotten of them to do, but again, you know, if you get a whole bunch of grades and you kind of feel like, oh, I feel good about this, yeah, that psychology test really blew my mind. I passed it, it was okay, but you know, I really had to do well on it, so anyway, that's what this guy's doing. So 3 tests weighted 20% each, so 20%, 20%, 20% is each test. The final paper weights 40%. The score on the 3 tests were 60, 70, and 80. Does it matter which test is which? You got, I mean, first, second, third. They're all weighted the same, so it doesn't matter. If you're looking at weights and they're different weights, it's really important that each right score goes with each right weight. These are tests, and then you got your final paper, which is different, right? So make sure that the final paper is correct. So he got 60 on the final paper. He made a 60, a 70, and 80 on the test. It doesn't matter which test is which in that scenario, because they're all weighted the same. But just make sure the tests get put on tests and the final paper on final paper. So the test scores are there, the weights are there. We multiply test score times weight to get weighted scores. So again, these 2 columns we find by reading. Everything else is done by doing. Test score times weight equals weighted score. 60 times 20 is 1200. 70 times 20 is 1400. 80 times 20 is 1600. 60 times 40 is 2400. So in each case we get a weighted score, multiplying the score of the assignment times the weight of the assignment to get the weighted score of the assignment. We add up all the weights, 20, 20, 20, 60 plus 40 is 100. 1200, 1400, 1600 makes, and then 2400, we'll see, 0, 0, 10, 12, 6, carry the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So 6,600 points is all the points he got. 100 was the weight of all the assignments he had, so his weighted average is going to equal 6,600 divided by 100. So his weighted average ends up being a 66%. Okay. When you get an answer as far as labeling is concerned, go back to this one. Scores were just numbers, right? So my answer was just a number. Here test scores were percents, so notice I put a percent on that answer. So, you know, just kind of play it by ear there. If you get a label on the test scores, then you want to put the same type of label on your weighted average. Otherwise, if there's no label is necessary.